Hello there, my name is Kine and welcome to my new video. You may or may not know, but I'm a Grandmaster mid-main who plays a lot of Vladimir, and I do a lot of League of Legends coaching as well. If you're interested in getting my coaching, feel free to check out the link in the description down below, but that's obviously not why I'm making this video. I'm making this video because every single time that I coach a Vladimir player, I notice the exact same mistake that keeps Vlad mains from climbing to Diamond or higher. So first I'll explain what I mean, and then I'll show you an in-game example. Now, if you've ever played Vladimir before, then you should understand that Vladimir's game plan, pure theoretically, is quite straightforward. Ultimately, you want to focus on farming in the early game and avoid fighting too much to scale consistently to the later stages of the game, where Vladimir truly becomes that 1v9 monster. However, almost every single Vladimir player below Diamond that I coached views this game plan in black and white. There's no alternatives, no adaptations, no versatility, no flexibility. Game and game again, they will avoid fighting early on, no matter what the play is. They will always follow the same game plan. And that's where the issue is. Solo queue is basically, depending on the game, 20 to 40 minutes of pure chaos and random stuff happening. And that's normal. You're playing with 10 different people with their own mindsets, game plans, mental states, etc. This is the perfect combination to create pure chaos. Therefore, a lot of different things can happen, and that makes League a very non-black and white game. And that brings us to the goal of today's video. I want you to stop thinking in black and white about the game, and I want to stimulate your gray zone thinking. Meaning, I want to stimulate your analyzing skills, your on-the-spot decision making, basically your flexibility. All that I ask is this. Whenever opportunities arrive, like a random bot lane fight at minute 8, just use your camera and take a quick look to analyze whether or not you could get something out of that play. I don't care that theoretically on Vladimir you should avoid fights early on. If the enemy bot lane is diving my bot lane at minute 8 and I have a good opportunity to get a double kill or a shutdown, then I will. A lot of Vladimir players, especially below Diamond or Master, they tend to not even look at these things happening around them. They wouldn't even shift their camera to that bot lane fight. They won't even consider moving. And that's a pity, because holding on too tight to a game plan can be just as bad as not having a game plan at all. So to summarize this video, I'll give you 2 points of focus. 1. During your game, put time and effort into identifying opportunities. Meaning, whenever something is happening, at least move your camera and analyze the situation. If you move, can you get something out of it? Do you have sums? Do you have ult? Are the enemies low? Are the enemies overextended? Etc. But most lower elo Vlad players, they just skip this step completely. They just assume every play in the early game, for example, is going to be a bad play. And that's probably the biggest misconception you could have about Vladimir. Second point of focus is this. After you play the game, go back into the VOD and look for plays like fights that happened and see if the outcome would have changed if you would have been there or not. Look if you should have or could have been there. Look for signals that maybe could have given you an idea that a fight was about to happen. For example, when your teammates move and ping to collapse the enemy team, you can expect a fight to happen. So if you have sums or ult, you should probably see if you can move. Alright, let's look at an in-game example to see what this concept might actually look like in a real game. Because we already talked about like joining fights and stuff like that, using your camera, analyzing fights. That is quite straightforward, but you could also take this concept to the next level, and that's what I'll show you in this example. Alright, so right now I'm going to show you guys an in-game example of what I actually mean. So when you're playing Vladimir, it's very easy to get like very tunnel visioned on what you need to do, like side laning and farming obviously. But it's very important that you also assess potential opportunities to move there. We're not just always going to follow the same game plan of we're going to side lane until we get the wave to the enemy turret, we're going to put pressure here. Now sometimes you have to move before you do all of that. This is what is called solo queue flexibility. Solo queue is very chaotic, you have to adapt to it. All I ask of you, all I ask of any Vladimir player is basically this. Whenever opportunities arise, look for them. For example, right now if you put a vision on ourselves here, so with the Vladimir, we're side laning at this point with the dragon, a wave shoved in, but I'm just going to let this die and already shove in the next wave. Especially since like I see a lot of people grouping here. So this is already a signal. I'm looking for signals. What is a signal? I mean with that, what are signs that show me that a potential fight could break out? Well, right now I see a lot of circles on the minimap. I see a lot of people grouped up together. It is very likely that this is going to become a fight. Now at this point, all I can do is basically I can already decide to move, or I can just side lane. What I like to do, right now I don't really see, I see that there's an opportunity, but I don't really see them literally fighting. So I can still walk up to the next wave and look to CS, for example. So right now here, this wave, I can still shove it in. While shoving it in though, I'm not just saying, well, whatever happens here, I can't really do anything about it. I'm just going to side lane. That's not what I'm thinking right now. What I'm thinking right now is I'm going to side lane here, but whenever I see like a fight breaking out here, which is already like the case, like they're already starting to engage, then I can move if necessary, right? If possible. What do I mean with that? I would ask myself, does it make sense that I move here, right? Can I accomplish something in this fight? If a fight breaks out here, will me being there change the outcome of that fight potentially, right? In this case, I would argue yes, because first of all, in this game, I'm really fat. I'm basically the backbone of my team. If I'm not there, we have a high chance of losing the fight. On top of that, like, first of all, I'm fat, right? On top of that, I have my ultimate and both sums are up. My flash is about to come up. So I'm basically at my very strongest. So I can definitely, I kind of want to fight, right? But since there wasn't a fight, I was just side laning, chilling, waiting for neutral objectives, then trying to force a fight. But hey, the enemy team is already forcing a fight at this point. So right now, while I'm side laning, I'm not just sticking to the plan of, hey, I'm going to side lane and just keep on being in the side lane, getting fed. No, I'm going to look to join a fight because I'm already strong at this point, right? So what happens here is I'm just farming these minions. Enemy team is looking to fight, right? I immediately move. Why is that? Because while I was farming, I was already assessing the situation. I was already thinking, should I move if a fight breaks out here? The answer was yes. Why? I was strong, I have summoners, I have ultimate. I was thinking, while I was side laning, if I should move to a potential fight. I was looking for signals, okay, is a fight gonna happen? And then if so, I would already think ahead, should I move? Can I change the outcome of a potential fight? If the answer is yes, if you think you can be useful in those fights, look to go there. So right now you're gonna see, we actually go there, we move to the fight. It's a bit of a weird fight, the enemy team's already flash, but ultimately we get in there, we get a kill. I think we can even kill Ahri here, not too sure anymore. Yeah, and we pick up Ahri here as well. So yeah, did we change the outcome of that fight? Yes, 100% we did. Was it good to move? Yes, 100% it was good to move. Right, we got 2 kills, which is a lot more gold than just side laning here, and we prevented our team from dying. Was it a good decision? Yes. Now, what if this wasn't a good decision? What if you went here and you still, like, you played everything perfect, like in terms of target selection, in terms of timing, everything, you still lost the fight? Well, in that case, what I would like to do, I would like to go into the VOD review like I'm doing right now, after my game, and I would look at, okay, could I have changed the outcome? Maybe I could have played it in a different way, the team fight. If you really don't get to that conclusion, if you really think, no, I played it really good, like no matter what, the difference in like damage from the enemy team and our team was just too big, I could never make up for that, even if I played pixel perfect, then you probably should not have been there, right? So that's a right conclusion to draw. So while you're side laning, when you're just looking like taking jungle camps, farming, stuff like that, always look for these opportunities. You don't have to go, just consider going. Ask yourself, can I go? Should I move? Can I change the outcome? And if you're not sure in game, you can always go back into the VOD and look at the fights and see like, okay, maybe I was just side laning, and then you look back at the fight in the VOD review and you could have been like, oh damn, the entire enemy team was actually really low. So if I would have been there, I probably would have been able to like win the fight for my team. That could be an indication that next time in a similar situation in your games, you would try to change your playstyle of like shoving into moving in a similar situation, right? And that is how ultimately become a better player in terms of decision making and on the spot decision making, especially on Vladimir. But what I noticed, and this is what this entire video is all about, when I coach people, they are very black and white. They either join every single fight, they don't really consider, should I go there? Does it make sense for me to go there? No, they just go there because they're scared of not being involved in the game. And the other, the other extreme is basically that they're perma-shoving and they're never considering to move. Whereas I'm trying to tell you guys, yes, side laning is going to be your main objective, getting solo gold, solo XP, but always be ready to move to potential fight. Like while you're side laning, don't just randomly keep your camera locked on yourself. Don't like at least consider moving if a fight breaks out. And typically while you're farming, while you're pushing, you should already be thinking, if a fight breaks out, can I move? Should a fight break out here? Like, are there signals? Are there signs that I should move here? Stuff like that. All right. I think it's clear. I hope it's clear. If it's not, you can always ask me questions in the comments down below. But hopefully I explained this concept pretty okay. All right. All right, so that was it. I want this video to be short and sweet, so I'll end it here. I want to thank you for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. And hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Bye.